We have a funny post here from Julio Rosas. Scott Jennings pointing out X is more ideologically balanced. Get this. So we in this clip from CNN, the far left brain boiled liberal mindset cannot handle the fact that X under Elon Musk's ownership is the most balanced politically in for social media. And the source is actually CNN. Check this out. Let me play this clip for you first.
I heard what you're saying about X. I saw a survey this week. It's now the most ideologically balanced user platform.
Scott,
of any platform.
stop. It's too early. I just sat down. I've only been here for 2 minutes.
I cannot stand these deluded, deranged people are absolutely. It's like, stop talking. Dude, let him finish his point. He is correct.
You cannot
Listen.
say that. That's not the case. Who's the source of that?
What I find, we've reported it on this network.
It's not accurate, and you know it.
You know what?
So CNN isn't accurate.
I'm going to give her that one. CNN is not accurate. Here you go.
Twitter/X is because he wanted to make it his own platform, remake it in his own image. And I think this really gets at it. Look at this. The party ID among those who regularly use X/Twitter for news. Back in 2022, 65% of those who regularly use Twitter/X for news were Democrats. Just 31% were Republicans. Look at where we are today. Just a completely different picture. Now it's basically split between Democrats at 48%, Republicans at 47%. And what I should note, Mr. Berman, is this new overall makeup matches the overall electorate far better.
I just want to say two things. First, bravo to Elon Musk because he did what he set out to do. And I want to ask all of you that with this Thanksgiving coming up in just a few days, when this clip pops up on your YouTube, share it and play it with your liberal aunt, uncle, or family members and tell them with dispassionately and calmly and with familial love, just say, listen, family, brother, uncle, father, whatever, you know I love you. I need you to just watch this because there's a couple things to consider. In the first clip, they say, that's not true. X is not politically balanced. Scott Jennings says it's been reported on this network to say that's not true. So you can conclude one of two things. Either Elon Musk actually did bring about balance to X politically, or CNN is wrong. Actually, any conclusion you come to with CNN is wrong because they can't both be right.
Right. Well, apparently, I mean, what this proves to me is that even CNN doesn't watch CNN. Yeah. So
looking at those numbers is very, very easy to see. Look, 47% up from 31%, which means that some people were unbanned and everyone from the Dem Party just went over to Blue Sky.
Well, this is probably well before that move, but I do think it's hilarious that Democrats are like, we're going to go to Threads on Instagram.
Oh, that's
they declared victory when they did. Yep. They were all over there, but like, this is so much more fun. And then how long did it take? Like 3 days, and they were back on X.
Well, they're all
the same thing has happened on Blue Sky, where they all go over. And now Blue Sky reported something like hundreds of thousands of reports.
They're all getting each other banned.
Child abuse images appearing on the platform and other really messed up things. So
suspicious.
Good job, Jack Dorsey.
And so Blue Sky, they reported the other day and said, guys, I know we're not doing a very good job with getting back to reports because, you know, in the past 24 hours, we've had 40,000 reports. And to put that in perspective, we've only had 300,000 in the past year. And so the Democrats, the left, has already gone over there. And obviously it's an echo chamber. Nobody on the right is over on Blue Sky. And so they're all reporting each other over there. I mean, it's wild.
Which is funny, too, because it was better for them to, look, a lot of them are addicted to the conflict. They need to have the engagement with other people. That's actually good for them because it gets you out of your ideological echo chamber to be on a platform where you're consistently arguing with each other. If the point is that you log into X and everything you see is from some right-wing account, that's because that's who you're interacting with. And it's better for your brain to be interacting with people that you disagree with rather than going over to Blue Sky or Threads and just having a bunch of people who all agree with each other all the time in between getting each other banned because somebody said one thing that they don't like.
Yes. And you know what? This tells me right here that the Democrats, the left, learned nothing from November 5th. Nothing. They didn't learn a single thing. They're going to do the same thing next time around, and they're not going to take no for an answer. I mean,
you're right.
I really do hope I'm right.
I don't know that I agree. I mean, seeing people like Bill Maher, Jon Stewart, and Cenk Uygur start to come around now and be like, okay, that's it. We've had enough. We got to call this stuff
Cenk
out.
was doing it already. Yeah. I mean, that's
there's a degree of people who are, so I'll put it this way. Based on the time at which a person left the left, you can gauge their initiation, how long have they been active in politics, and their moral courage. Mm-hmm. So some people I'll give a pass to. And by all means, a lot of people have called out Joe Rogan for waiting till the last minute. There's a viral video that Kyle Kalinske shared where Joe's saying a bunch of progressive things. He's for universal basic income. I think Joe was way on the left, and people don't understand how much he's moved over.
He was a Bernie bro.
Right. And so even a couple of years ago, he was very, very Bernie bro. And so when they see him this year before he endorses Trump saying things like, well, I like RFK better, he had already moved dramatically over. But I also think he's trying to be moderate so he can attract a larger group. In the end, he made that endorsement. But as for people like Bill Maher and Jon Stewart, who waited till only after the election, you can see what they're truly scared of. They did not have confidence in what was going to happen. They weren't reading the news or paying attention. So Bill Maher, for instance, well, he did call out wokeness, and I'll give him credit for that. Jon Stewart, and they both tried to play a middle-of-the-road approach. Cenk Uygur, at the very least, had seen the writing on the wall. Then you have a handful of other liberals who go way back, Dave Rubin being like literally one of the first to have left the left. People who are like, hey, I'm paying attention to this stuff, and these people are crazy. I'm out of here. You can see how long it took some of these people. Compare Dave Rubin, and I'm gonna talk to Cenk about this. Dave Rubin's on the Young Turks Network. He leaves, starts his own thing. Then he makes his way from moderate liberalism to libertarianism, and now to some type of moderate right-leaning. I don't know that he's conservative or anything like that. But now the Young Turks, who had attacked him relentlessly for 10 years, all of a sudden now are closer to him politically than anything else.
Yeah. And I think that you talk about Joe Rogan and where Joe Rogan was. I think Joe Rogan genuinely had an interest in bringing Kamala Harris on there to have that 3-hour conversation with her, because I think that would have been that would have been a make or I genuinely believe this. If she would have been able to get in front of that audience and actually deliver something to the people, that she maybe would have been able to bump herself up a couple of points.
Oh my God.
Do I think she would have won? No.
I'm sorry. Continue. Finish your point. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't think she would have been able to do it. But what I think was going through Rogan's head was that would have been appealing to her people. Her people would have told her, if they truly believed that she could connect with the American people, they would have put her on Joe Rogan. Why not?
I gotta read. I saw this super chat and I fact checked it. Lord help us. Do you know what a post is called on Blue Sky?
Oh yeah.
Bleat?
Yeah, it's
Is it
bad.
a bleat?
No.
A skeet?
Yeah.
It's a skeet.
Skeet.
I can't believe I can't believe it.
Who came up with that?
Considering the amount of child abuse on that platform, I'm not surprised. I saw that and I was like, that's a joke. I looked it up and oh my God. These people are nuts. They are nuts.
Well, I tried to go on there to see how quickly I could get banned, and somebody had already taken my username, so I didn't bother.
That's another thing that's what the left has been doing. They've been basically making sure Blue Sky fails. But it's true.
Yeah.
They're going in and they're taking as many names as possible to stop anyone from being able to get on the platform. Legit. So while you've got these personalities being like, let's go to Blue Sky, activists are going on there and taking up as many names as they can to restrict the ideas of people who aren't communists, I guess.
Right.
They don't want Cenk Uygur on that platform. Yeah.
Do they not? Is he not using it?
I don't know if he is. I'm saying they don't want him there.
What about Mark Cuban? Didn't he go there for 25 minutes? How did that work out?
He bent the knee and
want
kissed the
anyone
pinky
on
ring.
there.
Bent the knee. What do you think? What do you think happened with Mark Cuban?
So these people are moral cowards.
You don't think he's compromised?
I don't know. I mean, you've got Diddy list, you got Epstein list, but I think mostly just moral cowards. You've got what happened to Jon Stewart? Jon Stewart's out of the game for a long time. He comes back during COVID, goes on Colbert and says, isn't it weird to anybody that the Wuhan coronavirus laboratory had a coronavirus emerge a block away? And no one's asking that question. And Colbert's like, no, it's completely normal. What are you talking about? And what happens is Jon Stewart thought he could come back after all these years without paying attention to what was going on politically. And he didn't realize the left had become a cult. So where it used to be that you could insult and you could be edgy and George Carlin was making racial jokes and using slurs, Jon Stewart leaves the game before the wokeness goes mainstream, jumps back into the fray, and immediately falls in line. On his Apple show talking about white privilege and other garbage, he learned quick he better drop to his knees and kiss the pinky ring. Mark Cuban, very much the same. Mark Cuban's probably thinking, look, I stand to lose $437 million in contracts if I speak my mind. I better just say what they want me to say. Who cares? This is the way things are going. I see Kyle Kalinske, right? I'll give him credit. partly for his courage to defy the trends, but also in his fear of bucking what he committed to for so long. Kyle Kalinske used to be a normal guy. And I actually gave him respect. Back in the day during the Gamergate and the culture war stuff, he actually spoke nicely of Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad. People were calling Carl fascist and white supremacist. It's like, no, come on. Like, you can criticize him for a lot of things, but he's not those things. And I was like, I like this Kyle Kalinske guy. I like his content. He's calm, he's rational. I don't agree with everything he's saying. Now he's just lost his mind. I thought he was friends with Joe Rogan. Now he's attacking Joe Rogan. Mm-hmm. It's because these people saw, you know what it is? They're smart people. They're watching the wave of the cult take over. And they think to themselves, I can stand up and fight back, or I can just lower my head and move with the crowd. I'm going to do that one because they genuinely thought that was the right side of history. That not that it was correct, but that wokeness was going to win, and they didn't want to be booted out.
So it kind of reinforces the fact that Mark Cuban is the stupidest billionaire on the face of the earth.
He's not stupid. He's a coward. There's a difference. When he saw wokeness, he said, I am going to march in lockstep with these people so I don't lose access to money. But he was wrong. What ended up happening is, despite all of the media attempts, despite all of the censorship, Donald Trump's right-wing populist message, and not just his message, but the people around him, succeeded, won the popular vote, won the election, and it was a matter of days when these moral cowards dropped to their knees and said, I have always criticized the Democrats, please. Because this is the thing. Democrats fear the most is being on the wrong side of history. That's why right now they're saying Trump didn't win the popular vote. He's at 49.9%. They're saying, nope, popular vote is 50 plus.
Which is just to say they're afraid of not being in the majority. Exactly.
That's why Kyle Kalinske is having a mental breakdown right now on X, and has been, because he spent so much energy into this idea of progressivism and liberalism that he thought was the mainstream, that he thought was the majority. And then after the election, it turned out he's in the minority. He's having a mental breakdown. Many of them are. Mark Cuban is.
Yeah, Mark Cuban, I think, definitely is. But, did it not look to you like Mark Cuban was being almost held, and I mean, not literally, but it looked like he was being held hostage in some of these things, some of these interviews, forcing him to go on TV and say these things, which there's no way he believed some of the things that he was saying on TV, using these talking points. I mean, could it have been, was he in a pissing contest with Elon Musk at that point, trying to be, because you got to think about it, Mark Cuban, I grew up watching Mark Cuban on Shark Tank. He was one of my idols growing up, and look at where he's at now. Is he desperately trying to crawl his way back up the ladder?
I don't mean this to sound disrespectful, but is it kind of embarrassing to say that?
Yeah,
I looked up to Mark Cuban, now look at him.
I feel like I was like, did I get duped or did he go off the deep end? I don't know which one it was.
Well, Nick, remember, he owns the Dallas Mavericks, and the NBA.
Did you know who he sold it to?
The NBA is all pro-China. They don't let people say a lot of things. Yep. So, this is not completely out of character for Mark Cuban. Yep. It makes sense to me.
Oh, so he's taking the LeBron James route of politics.
Exactly.
That would make total sense. But what's funny is, and I'll say this one last thing and I'll let you move on, but he sold the Dallas Mavericks to Miriam Adelson, I believe, which was one of Trump's top donors.
Wow.
And then immediately after said that Trump has no strong, intelligent women around him, even though he just, sold his team to one of his top people.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.